Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, I was going forward with Srila Prabhupada's Iskcon movement. So now taking the blessings of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada came to US and he founded Iskcon. So Iskcon was founded on July 13, 1966. And Iskcon stands for International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So why Srila Prabhupada founded Iskcon is because he, being a devotee, couldn't see everyone suffering, right? And taking the guidance of his guru said, print English books. So printing English books means those who cannot read Hindi can actually understand it. So that was a simple instruction that he gave. But Srila Prabhupada actually developed more on that. That he knew what his guru's instruction was, that he shouldn't limit himself to only in India. He has to go outside of India and share it with everyone else. And on top of that, making the mission of Lord Chaitanya possible, because he wants in every town and village that the holy name of the Lord is chanted, right? So he came to US and founded the Iskcon movement. And now when he came here, he could have said so many different names, right? But he chose the word International Society for Krishna Consciousness, so that it is open to everyone. Now when he founded this, he also put in 7 purposes in that. Because of course when you found, you have to explain the purpose of this movement, right? And at that time, the only people that he had with him were the hippies, who are now devotees. So most of the hippies, they didn't know what they were doing. So when you found a center, you need to have some trustees, some people who will sign up, right? Wherever we are setting up centers, we know that we need some trustees to sign. So he asked those hippies to sign. And they didn't know what it was. They all signed, many of them signed, right? They don't know what they were getting themselves into. So now Srila Prabhupada drafted those 7 purposes of Iskcon. So which we are going to look at a little bit. We are not going to go into much details, but just to have a look and understand what were the purposes that he had drafted. So the first one, I would ask Rajan Prabhu, can you read it aloud, the first purpose?
To systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large and to educate all people in the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalances of values in life and to achieve real unity and peace in the world.
Thank you, Prabhu. So I've highlighted some of the key words from this purpose. Looking at it, you see systematically, right? The word systematically, educate, techniques of spiritual life, check the imbalance of values, achieve real unity and peace in the world, right? So, systematically, because it happened that, even till now it's happening, that there are many things we do, but not in a systematic way. I'm not talking about Iskcon, I'm talking about outside. There are so many things that are being done blindly, right? But we need a system in place. So this is what Srila Prabhupada wrote. in the first purpose, systematically, and education was missing, right? Education was missing because most of the knowledge was not helpful. And the techniques of spiritual life. He didn't just put spiritual life, he put techniques of spiritual life. So there is technique behind it, right? How do we grow spiritually? It's not just whimsically. There's a technique on how to grow spiritually. And to check the imbalance of values. So at that time, we know how it was, there was an imbalance. Like most of the people that was around there were hippies. But that imbalance is still present now in a different form. Right? There are so many imbalances. And then to achieve real unity and peace in the world. If we follow that system properly, we would be able to achieve real unity and peace in the world. So now when we're looking at that purpose, right? Purpose is not a goal. I'm repeating myself. Purpose is not goal. Purpose is a process. It's like you getting into something that will be achieved, but you have to continually get into that process of achieving it. So it's a never-ending process. Suppose I say, somebody comes and says, Prabhuji or Mataji, I am humble. We hear that, right? I am humble. Just wait for 24 hours, then we will get to know. Right? It's a process. We cannot say, like, so many times we feel, oh, I'm chanting my rounds perfectly. How long can we keep that statement? It's a process. It's an ongoing process. So now when we are looking at these purposes, let's not think that it was meant for 1966. It's meant for us also. That's why I brought it here. So looking at the seven purpose. So I would ask Mataji, can you please read the seven purpose?
To propagate the consciousness of Krishna, God, as it is revealed in the great scriptures of India, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you, Mataji. So here Srila Prabhupada is telling us that the seven purpose is to propagate Krishna consciousness of the consciousness of Krishna, God, as it is revealed in the scriptures. So he also specifies those scriptures where it is revealed. Right? So we are not, many times we hear, okay, I heard this from my grandma, or I heard it from my neighbor told me this, or that person. No, but Srila Prabhupada is being precise, so where all this information coming from, that Lord Krishna is the Supreme. So he wants to share that knowledge with everyone. Now going to the third purpose. Prabhuji, can you please read that?
To bring the members of society together, with each other and nearer to Krishna, the prime entity, thus developing the idea within the members and the humanity at large that each soul is a part and parcel of the quality of Godhead Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So bringing the members of the society together, right? That brings us back to that first question I asked you. Why do you come to Iskcon Brampton? So there's this togetherness here when we are all sitting together. Somebody came from a different part of India, somebody came from a different country, but we are all sitting together. This is what is the purpose of Iskcon, to bring everybody together. Nearer to Krishna. Right? When we are entering the temple, we want to come nearer to Krishna. I always observe that some devotees have taken the back seat and they don't want to come closer to Krishna. So when we are in the temple, let's come closer to Krishna. Right? So, most of you, whoever is in the class later in the meeting for Vaishnava etiquette, you will go in more details about that. So when we are coming in the temple, it's not for checking our phones, catching up on our emails, or checking the soccer scores. No, it's come closer to Krishna. So make it a habit. Don't be a backbencher in Lord Krishna's temple. Come closer to him. Whoever comes late, that's okay, they can sit at the back, but if you're here from early, try to come closer to me. Developing the new ideas within the members and humanity at large. Humanity at large. Did he say sectarian? To everyone. Humanity at large. That each soul is part and parcel of the quality of Godhead Krishna. So now that we have seen these three purposes, and we know why we are coming to Iskcon, right? We know why we are coming to Iskcon Brampton, I have to be more precise, and we know what we are getting from Iskcon Brampton, right? So from here we also have some responsibilities. Going to the fourth purpose, one Mataji can read it, and somebody, whoever. Mataji, go ahead.
To teach and encourage the Sankirtan movement, congregational chanting of the holy name of God, as revealed in the teachings of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So to teach and encourage the Sankirtan movement, congregational chanting. Somebody did mention, right? You come here for the kirtan. You come here to chant together. So this is the fourth purpose of what Srila Prabhupada created when he founded this movement. And to encourage everyone to participate. Next one, please. One purpose.
To erect for the members and for society at large a holy place of transcendental pastimes dedicated to the personality of Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So I highlighted holy place here, right? Even though we are in the center of Brampton, we are in a place where there is many industry, it's an industrial area, you have so many businesses going around. But still, when you're coming here in Iskcon Brampton, you feel the vibe, right? The language that we all talk about, the vibe. You feel that positive vibe. You know that this is a holy place. When you're coming here, you feel the presence of the Lord. And you feel the association of the devotees. So that's what Srila Prabhupada's purpose was, that when we have Iskcon, we feel that sense of belonging, we feel that sense that this is where Krishna is. This is where his devotees are. And this is where I belong. Right? Now the last purpose, one Mataji can read that. You can read.
To bring the members closer together to the purpose of teaching a simpler, more natural way of living.
Thank you. So to bring the members together, again, to bring the members together. We saw that in the previous purposes also. So I don't know if you have noticed there was some repetitions in the purposes. Are there any words that you remember that I already told you about this one, to bring the members closer together?
Society at large.
Society at large, yes. Anything else?
Humanity.
Yes, society at large, humanity also. Yes, anything else?
Closer to Krishna, closer to Krishna.
Closer, yes.
Teach.
Educate, yes. Educate, bring everyone closer together, teach similar life, but there was some repetition that you might have seen over there. So when he has repeated it, he's putting emphasis on that. We have to make sure that we do put our effort in that. When Srila Prabhupada has taken so much effort into writing these books and giving it to us, we distribute them, and not only that, we also study them. So going to the last purpose, the last purpose of Iskcon. So I let
With a view towards achieving the aforementioned purposes, to publish and distribute periodicals, magazines, books, and other writings.
Thank you, brother. So to publish and distribute periodicals, magazines, and books, and to distribute them, right? So we have a system in place. We have the books, we have the education, we have the togetherness, we have everything in place. Now when we are coming to Iskcon Brampton, when we are coming here and we are taking, we have to analyze, we have to introspect and see, how am I taking this opportunity? Am I coming here and taking darshan and then going back home and forgetting for 1 week and then coming the next Sunday? Or am I actually imbibing those teachings that I've got and applying in my day-to-day life? Right? Because there's a thin line. What happens sometimes, we tend to take it as an entertainment. We call that spiritual entertainment. Wow, maza aa gaya, right? We go home, maza aa gaya, and then done. No, we have to analyze and see what is that transformation that I'm seeing in myself. If I've been coming to the temple for the past 2 months, 3 weeks, 1 year, 2 years, and I don't see a transformation in myself, or 15 years, 20 years also, and I don't see a transformation in myself, then there's something wrong in there. So it is very important that we understand that system and we apply it in our day-to-day life. Now that is understood. Now the second thing is, like I mentioned this was founded in 1966. So it wasn't buried in 1966. Those purposes are our duty from here. So we have to educate, we have to pass on that knowledge, we have to pass on and share it with others. So it is very important that whatever we've gained from temple, whatever we've gained from Iskcon Brampton, we share it with others also, right? So back to what we discussed, what I asked you earlier, why do you come to Iskcon Brampton? Prasadam, somebody said very nicely, prasadam, education, only one Mataji said class because this actually, no, you're here, right? I thought you left already. She said class and then she disappeared. No, most of the time, yes, it's enough time for many, but we come for class also. We come for prasadam, we come for aarti, we come for darshan, we come for association, kirtan, dance. Then what after that? That is in our hands. So what do we do after that? After we've gained so much, what do we do after that? We need to see transformation and we need to share it with humanity at large. When we are saying we have to understand that humanity at large, we have to understand that Srila Prabhupada said international society. International. We have to understand that meaning clearly and understand. And from here, we take our responsibility and move forward. Thank you very much. Mataji, we're okay on time, right? I finished 10 minutes early, so if any questions or any comments, please go ahead. So no questions. Okay, I'll ask questions. Right? So usually when there is no questions, means everybody understood clearly. So when was Iskcon founded? I repeated it at least 4 times.
66.
Dead, yes. So Mataji's at the back, remember, prasadam for this side, right? So I'll ask another question. Oh yes, Prabhu.
So how do we check that we are progressing? What is the checkpoint?
What is the checkpoint that we are progressing? Good question, Prabhu. We have to introspect, right? We have to check. So when we are looking at these purposes, check, am I doing this? Oh, sorry. Yes, because I'm looking at everybody's looking up there. Yes, so am I actually aligned with those purposes? You're talking about the institution or you're talking about self-introspect? Can I? Personal, yeah, personal. Then, when you're talking about personal, you should check, am I progressing spiritually in the sense that, am I happy when I'm around devotees? That is the first checkpoint. Am I feeling bliss when I'm close to devotees? Or am I feeling anger? That's the first point. The second point is when I'm looking at the deities, am I feeling connected to the deities? Because many times it happens that we take darshan and then when we go home and if anybody asks us which color was Shri Radha Giridhari wearing, we don't remember. Because we took darshan but we didn't take darshan with a proper vision, with a proper intent. Right? So there are many things like that. But the first and foremost is, am I feeling blissful when I'm around devotees? Because Prabhu, this is how Lord Krishna, that's our checkpoint. I hope I did answer your question. Yes, so Matajis are waiting here. Maybe I can ask one question for the Matajis. What was the instruction that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave to Srila Prabhupada?
In English.
English. Prabhu supporting the Mataji.
Mataji, they can do, they didn't wait, they never have patience. They didn't say read English books, but before that.
Okay, so I think I'm here, Mataji will take over. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji. That was great and a very good lead to our presentation today. Mataji emphasized on education, right? And this is a good refresher for us all to see refresh ourselves with the 7 purposes now and then, so that we know where we stand. And as Mataji nicely ended saying, you have to introspect ourselves to see how we are progressing in Srila Prabhupada's mission. Without these 7 purposes, we won't be able to be, it's very easy to go off track, right? So this is a good checkpoint for us. And so Mataji specifically emphasized on education, because her whole background is from education as well. And today, we're just going to see Iskcon Brampton is full of great service opportunities and learning as well. So we just thought there are a lot of new devotees that are joining us. Maybe they're not aware of some of the features, some of the programs, some of the services that Iskcon Brampton gives out. So one of the main purposes, facility that we offer is Vedic education. Education for children, education for youth, and education for adults as well. So we just thought we'll highlight what are the programs, what are the courses we have here at IB, so that we're hoping that everyone will be rushing after we finish the presentation, that you'll all be lining up to enroll in courses. That is our whole goal. Hopefully it goes in that direction. So our education center is called as Bhakti Vedanta Academy of Education Canada. In short, we call it BAEC. So if you hear BAEC, we are talking about our own institution, Bhakti Vedanta Academy of Education Canada. Was started last year after the approval from Board of Examination. So we are authorized center to give several courses and approved courses, certificate courses. So what do we offer? Our BAC is 3-branched. We have children education, which is in the form of Sunday school. And is Tunga Vidya Mataji here? Okay, so she'll be joining us shortly to talk about Sunday school. And then we have youth group as well. It's called as Vaikuntha Yuva here. And then the adult education, which offers Vedic courses, seminars, and workshops. So while we are waiting for Tunga Vidya Mataji, we'll just go to the next slide. So let's look at the adult education that we have here in Iskcon Brampton. We gave all these courses that is listed there. Iskcon Disciple course, which is a mandatory course for all initiates. So if you want to get initiation from any of the Maharajas in the Iskcon Parampara, then you will have to finish this course. It's offered based on the need. It's offered twice or once a year, and you could enroll that. One of the courses actually going on right now. And then we have Bhagavad Gita Fundamentals. Now there's a purpose for each of these courses. Bhagavad Gita Fundamentals is, if you want a refresher, I know you've read Bhagavad Gita, you're full-fledged in it, but still when you hear about the essence, the principles nicely highlighted in the form of a course, then it makes more sense to you. So if you are a newcomer or if you've read Bhagavad Gita and you want to get a little bit more of enrichment on that, then that's a great way to do. Again, it's all of these courses are virtual, so you can actually sit at your home at your own leisure and just make sure that you allot some time in front of the computer, and you will get a wealth of knowledge that Prema Gauri Mataji was speaking about. And without that education, clearly she explained, you're not going to be able to answer questions, you're not going to be a warrior in Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. And so we need to be well educated. These courses help you with that. Vaishnava Etiquette, it's a seminar, and then that's also offered once or twice a year based on the need. And we're starting one today in the evening. Is it 5 to 8? So it's, can they still contact you if needed? So Prema Gauri Mataji will be conducting it again virtual if you want to know about it. Vaishnava Etiquette, how should one conduct ourselves? What's the best practices of Vaishnava? How do we represent ourselves well outside in the society so that people look at us and follow along? We set up good examples in the society. That you can get in a nice format by joining this seminar. It's just 2 weeks and wealth of information in it. Please join if you are interested. Seminars and workshops which we do periodically, and recently we finished one on leadership, parenting leadership. I think it was well received, lot of testimonials which we are going to post on the website, and it was well received by many of our, actually all around GTA. It was very informative session, and like that, based on the need and demand, let's say you have, this is where we all should come together. As a community, if you think there's a specific course or topic that you would like more information on, and you would like us to give a seminar or a workshop on that, you can approach either Ujjwala Mataji or Prema Gauri Mataji, and they can organize the seminar for you. And that is how it should be. We should work, like Mataji said, we should work as a community. If you give us proper feedback, then we'll be able to enrich you in the right way possible, right? And then we have the Bhakti Shastri course, which we just finished maybe about 2 weeks ago, where we read all of Prabhupada's books, four of Prabhupada's books, Bhagavad Gita as it is, Shri Upanishad, Nectar of Instruction and Nectar of Devotion. It takes about a year and a half, again virtual classes, weekly ones. And we are starting one, we just finished one. There's going to be a batch of first, can you all raise or stand up if you are a Bhakti Shastri graduate? Please, Prabhuji, be an encouragement. There are some in our audience that are Bhakti Shastri graduates. Can we all stand up? This is a way to encourage everybody else to join the course. You all should be proud that we are all doing a good instrument. Thank you very much. Please have a seat. Not to embarrass you at all, just to make you as an example for others to lead. So it's one of our responsibility. If we want to be good preachers, then we need to have a solid foundation, and that doesn't come without a proper coaching and training. And that you can have by joining Bhakti Shastri courses. Again, that is a certain criteria, which I'm sure if you put yourself in it, you can finish it. Vidya Mataji is here. She's going to talk about the children education that we have here.